not on point with just consistent dispels coming through. I'm sure he's going to just put an early point into the Fate's Edict as well, just in case you do get caught out underneath that. Then we'll have to see how it ends up working through, but I'm expecting to see a whole lot more aggression from Team Turtle in comparison to Old Warrior. But here we go. We're underway. Smoke on smoke, Gary.
Cross that river, get your wards down, and see if you come into contact with anyone, as it looks like Old Warrior, like we're saying, needing a good laning stage, needing to kind of weather the storm in the first 15 or 20 minutes. If they get themselves a first blood or a couple of good kills, hell, even just a good fight here where they get the the flickering icons, and if they get a good fight here where they get like regen advantage in lane, super important for them, as they will move up right in towards the Jakiro. Pichu, the focus here, the Trollman's into the back and getting raised up. Chalice in trouble, does get Astral by Somnus to save him, as Setsu and QIQX are the ones to die. 2 kills up here for the Turtle team. Kaka's the third, 3-1, and Fly, he's going to clap down to low ground to stay alive, but this is a monumental disaster for Old Warrior.
Not the way that you want to do that. I mean, they just walked up onto the high ground with no vision placed down. Both wards on the... well, one of them was actually placed on the bottom side of the river, so I was thinking maybe they were just wanting to play a little bit more around that understanding, but Kaka opting not to place down that Observer Ward, and they just ended up walking into the Meat Grinder, and that was without Jakiro with the Dual Breath leveled up as well. He's gone for the Liquid Fire, so really just wanting to harass as much as possible in lane, not be bound to his cooldowns.
Yeah, I mean, I get the move, and I think it's the right thing to do as Old Warrior. You want to get that little leg up before the lane starts, but if you go down 3-1, you have a 1k lead already up. For this Turtle team, it is nasty stuff coming into lanes against them. Champion against
the first
OD
as well, right? So it doesn't really matter that he ended up dying after the fact, right?
Yeah, he's all good. SF against OD is going to be an interesting one. Someone's just spamming the Astral, and Setsu with the mangoes and the raises. Of course, trying to get those early last hits into his bottle. Looking across all 3 lanes. Fly already taking a few hits up in that top lane. And the Dark Seer and Tusk.
Aka down bottom as well. I mean, you mentioned previously about some of the heroes that are just the gods of lane trading, and Rubik is certainly up there with the damage reduction that you're able to provide from the Fade Bolt. But going up against a hero like Jakiro, right clicks aren't where you're dealing most of your damage. It's your spells, right? So he's just using that Liquid Fire on cooldown, making sure that he's always in position just to keep Kaka back.
See, that's what I was saying yesterday. I don't even think Rubik makes top 50% of lane traders anymore.
No.
I think he's been like nerfed into oblivion. Everyone else has been buffed so heavily. Rubik just not able to do the job that he was once so adept at doing. And bullied back by a Jakiro. How sad.
Now, Picho, if he had another Blood Grenade, would have got that kill onto Kaka as well. And a solo kill as a Jakiro is just so vital. Get those early levels, get 3 points in the Dual Breath. I would assume that he's probably going to put just 1 point into the Ice Path because of how good Rubik being able to steal it is for the Rubik, just not having as much of that wind back, that cast point. So you still want to have that utility without ruining your the rest of your team.
Yeah, I mean, he probably wants it with a Tusk and a Darkseer later on in the game as well, right? You're going to need that additional bit of disable just to let your troll lock onto a target. And of course, you've got Astral into Ice Path as a setup combo as the game progresses. Yeah, so far, so good for this bottom lane. And the Jakiro on the Troll, 10-1 last hit for the Troll. Brewmaster at 5-1, really having some struggles in this off lane for the Old Warriors. It's just what you expect with a Troll lane, right? We talk about it often in the drafting stage. You pick a Slardar early, you pick a Brew early, whatever it might be. A Troll Warlord is likely to come out if it is not banned. A nice micro courier as well there to get it away from Rubik.
I love this move that Kaka's making as well, although he's going to run into this small camp, but that's fine. It means that the creeps are going to be there to prevent the next one. Yeah, the range creep, yeah. This doesn't feel as good, but they just can't lane into this right now. They are getting crushed in the lane. Kaka basically can do nothing against the Jakiro, and Old 11, he's been forced back just to try and run around away from them, get a little bit of experience wherever he can. Chalice is free farming.
Yeah, this is untenable. Unplayable for Old Warrior. Look away, hide their shame, and peek into that mid lane where things look pretty good for the SF so far. But up at top, potential action there as Qualifiers steps up, but back you back into the Iron Shells, and the Ice Shards is going to net them a kill on Fly, and maybe onto QYQX. Under the tower they go, with Planet and Yang snowballing forward. The Fortune's End is going to try and hold them back for a second, but it looks like over time they'll whittle down the Oracle and get themselves this second kill. Even the Fairy Fire delaying the death. Shards required. Planet gets it. 5-1. A 2k lead already emerging. And the only real victory we can see on the board here for Old Warrior is the mid lane, where SF is, you know, like 20% up on the OD.
Very, very mild, you know, mid lane going slightly in their favor, right? But this is what can happen early on as Kaka, yeah, once again, just getting bodied at the moment by Picho. 2 points in Liquid Fire, so they really want to up the pace, right? This is your main tower signature at the moment, is your position 5 with that Liquid Fire facet chosen.
Yam does lose his courier to Fly. Well, it's a little silver lining going out of that top lane.
So, I mean, yes, the Oracle is a counter to this Darkseer Tusk pairing, but they almost were able to, for example, use the Snowball to be able to dodge out the Fortune's End, so it actually wouldn't have been dispelled. And then also, Oracle's one of those heroes that has a big timing generally around their level 3. You can deny your own range creeps, for example, as a result of the Purifying Flame spam. You are a lot more solid at harassing others in lane as well, but you kind of want all of your spells in this lane, right? Like, you need 1 point in Phase Edicts. That's no question. I think 3.5 seconds of not taking any magic damage from that Iron Shell is pretty huge. But you want to lower the cooldown on the Fortune's End as much as possible, and you want as much of that, you know, Purifying Flames harass as possible. So what do you actually go for, right? Like, it's kind of like when the enemy team picks a Bloodseeker to counter your Leshrac, and then you just pick a bunch of other heroes that run at you, like a Razor, and you can only pick one. One of them is, well, 1 or 2 of them is going to get the ability to abuse you.
Yeah, especially when Oracle was... He was always this kind of hit level 3 and then become strong hero, because that would always be the point where you have 1-0-2 and you're Purifying Flames, you know, suddenly doing double the damage, and you can look for these snipes and these kills. But now you need the Fate Edict, like you're saying, so that delays the Purifying Flames. Then you're waiting for level 4, and you're already kind of a passive support waiting for people to, you know, fall into your arms almost and hope for a chance at a kill. I don't know. It's a hard one for the Oracle. Just a hard one for this draft in general. Old Warrior really, again, hammer this point home, just waiting for that, you know, 20+ minute game timer where they've got a couple of items, they've had a bit of time to farm. But the way this game is going, the map is going to be so small and dark by 20 minutes. I just don't see much room to maneuver. You know,
could get even darker pretty soon. I'm just having a look at Planet, just his perspective, and he recently went and placed down that Observer Ward up on the high ground inside of the Dire jungle. After that, you had QYQX go and place his down underneath that sort of vision, and he instantly brought up a sentry.
Oh, look at this move mid.
Yeah.
Right onto the Shadow Fiend. The one advantage you had, the SF having a good laning stage, now completely removed, giving Somnus a better time. And yeah, there's the sentry for Planet to go deward the odds. A few seconds after stacking this large camp one more time.
Get a stack, play around the power runes as well. Sure. Knows that his job is to just keep that harass going as well, even looking to block up one of the enemy camps that they might be looking to recover some of that net worth with. Thank you very much, and maybe they actually get a kill on the SF that just TP back in.
Oh my god, it's a disaster, isn't it? Kaka's gonna die as well. There's Observer Wards galore. 2 Observer Wards in the same place gonna die. So much gold and experience being fed and handed over to the Turtle team. Astral there on another one in the back. QYQX is gonna try and step up, fight back into Planet, but 9-1. Tier 1 mid being pressured. Yeah, the 2 Observer Wards just sat on top of each other there. Just wild amounts of gold being handed over as the OD is going to move forward. Look at QYQX with another banishment here. What's Planet got? Any more shards? A snowball there to follow up on this with a bit more damage, but not enough to finish him off.
Dire's middle tower is...
I mean, they're doing basically everything perfectly at the moment on Team Turtle. Maybe could have offensively glyphed to keep the siege creep alive, but other than that, they're just totally on point here. Even Yang just juking out Fly at the moment. Maybe even a bit of a bait. Planet doesn't end up walking into this.
They're going to try and turn on him. Shards and shells. Oh, wall dropped onto Fly.
The drinking buddies.
That one tree allows Yang to do a little ring around the rosy, juke the Ursa, turn with Planet down at bottom lane. They're trying to dive old 11. Not going to be able to go too deep here, though. It's really, looking at this, the way it feels is... Oh, hang on. Yang? No, he's good. He's good. It feels like the only way for Old Warrior to, like, make any semblance of a comeback, to fight back in this game, is through a Brewmaster ulti. Old 11 is like the one piece of the puzzle that you want to slot back in there. It's like, right, you're the guy, you're the dude right now, Old 11, and he's going, I'm the dude, am I? I'm being destroyed in lane by a troll right now. What do you want me to do?
And he's queuing up the Radiance. They're going to be doing nothing for a long amount of time, I think, on Old Warrior. By the way, Old 11, they realize how important he is to a lot of these movements. He's the one getting chased down here, but he's looking to go for a kill of his own onto Somnus.
They've got to get this. It is so important they get this kill on the OD. A bit of money, a bit of influx of cash there, as the Tusk and the Jakiro just a little too late to the party to save him. Good damage onto Kaka, but you have to back up. As Old 11 has hit 6. Brewmaster finally going to have his ultimate ready to go. Just runs forward to get the right-click damage in onto the Jakiro, and a little bonus kill here for Old Warrior. It takes a little while. Setsu, Old 11, get the job done in the end. But in the meantime, you know, you're looking at bottom tier 1 dying. The Chalice. Not just chip damage, that tower is gone 9 minutes in.
Is he getting a little bit too ambitious here? Maybe not, because he's going to be able to find out Kaka. Although, this has to be a bit too deep, right? Does he have a point for the battle trance? He doesn't. Gets his TP cancelled.
Yeah, this is lights out for Chalice this time. The Razors come in. I mean, Old Warrior bringing numbers, right? Using Primal Split, multiple cores to come into these lanes to try and salvage what they can. Some good moves, you know, desperate for sure, but necessary ones, and they are paying off.
But this is the thing, though. Good teams don't let you get something for free. You know, they might have lost the OD mid, but then they kill the tower bottom. Well, they're going in again on Planet. He's level 6.
Yeah, just diving onto Setsu. I mean, he does have the backup of the Oracle here. Somnus not wanting to go under tier 2s against a Rubik and an Oracle there.
A similar sort of thing, right? They go onto Chalice bottom, he gets a kill, he dies, but you lose mid tower. So they're not giving anything up without getting something that they feel is even more valuable in return.
Now these fights get even harder. You're looking at a mech on the Darks here. Suddenly that bit of burst damage you've had from the Shadow Fiend, the Oracle, that's mitigated. The fights can be extended and drawn out for the OD and the Troll to do even more damage. And Yang has had a pretty good time up top, just pushing out wave, coming back to farm the Ancients, getting a lot of efficiency out of the lane. Well, you know, Flyfly's also has been on his toes. You know, he's trying to chase, trying to kill, trying to catch up to people, farm at the same time. 4.2k net worth on the Ursa is not bad given the state of the game. It's just this lead from Team Turtle is becoming insurmountable almost.
Almost, yeah. I mean, the thing is as well, like, you mentioned the power of the Brewmaster ultimate, right? It's not like you can even use it to set up for a Requiem of Souls, for example, because you've got so much safety in the form of Ice Path, or Snowball, or Walrus Punch, or Vacuum, or Astral. Like, you're not going to be able to channel a full Requiem unless somehow the entire backline is controlled.
Fly gonna clap down to low ground away from Somnus, who was approaching. Witchblade getting pretty close to completion here for the OD.
I love it when teams go this. I'm sorry, Fly might be getting bullied a little bit here on the top side. I even realize that there's no glyph available, so I feel like Picho is just going to stick around, pop that liquid fire onto the tier 2 tower as much as possible. When Somnus was farming that camp just to the south of them, he made sure to stay in it at the 11-minute mark, just to make sure that there was no creep spawning there. It's the little things like that that just say, well, we've taken all your tier 1 towers at 11 minutes. We want to make sure that there's just nowhere you can farm. You can't go to the lane because we'll beat you, and you don't have your items yet. You've got 3 really greedy cores, and now you can't even have creeps in the jungle.
Salting the earth. They come in, scorched earth policy, burn it all down and salt it, so no more neutral crops can rise again from the land controlled by Old Warrior. It's upsetting for the Dire team, that's for sure. a little bit of calm now at the very least, so they can get a bit of time to, you know, sit in their lanes where these tier ones have dropped. You do have that deeper pocket to farm, a little bit of safety, but this also equally gives a bit of time here for Team Turtle. Is it Team Turtle or Turtle Team? I keep tripping on my tongue with the T's. Team Turtle?
Team Turtle. Team Turtle.
Team Turtle, okay. It gives Team Turtle a chance now to get their supports a little bit of gold and levels and stuff. And think about that 14-minute wisdom rune, what we're going to do there, plan their next couple of moves. Do we want to play into the darks here? Do we want to try and activate the troll? Is this our time now to play 4v5 and, you know, let Chalice just sit back and farm? That's probably going to be the answer. As they do swing top, the sniper kill here on QYQX, and false promise used up, but the damage inevitably will bring him down in the end. Gonna get raindropped and healed up a little bit. The 3 heroes surround the Oracle.
Killing spree!
Oracle, job well done. He dies,
Space
but for a
created.
good cause. Massive space created.
Yeah. One thing that I haven't actually seen, I'm not sure if we can see it in caster mode, but the old innate ability from the Oracle as well. I mean, Setsu, he would have loved to be playing around the knowledge of where the power runes are, but I didn't see him claim too many for himself. Hold on.
Yeah, kind of a defensive split down bottom from all 11, trying to get away. The Requiem's used, Karka's going to get found, and a good snowball forward here. Planet not able to fully connect onto Setsu, but he does run forward with a punch, and now Somnus arriving with the shards coming out. They've got the Setsu SM trapped in the igloo, taken down. Very difficult time here as the Brewmaster's on the run after the ulti expires. You just see the power here from Team Turtle. 5 heroes. They bring everybody to this fight.
Because they know it's in the right sort of area. You see Old 11 looking to maybe get a little bit of free experience for himself, but Planet says, nope, not even a watcher for yourselves. We'll be looking to claim that as well. There's just... They don't want them to increase their map presence at all. They know that this is a farming team, so you've got to punish every single little bit of that might open up the map, that might free up even 15 seconds for them to get a little bit of extra farm. As Old 11 would be in range for the Astral, not quite.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Swarming into the Ancients.
Such a dominant showing so far. It's almost like these guys are TI top 4 players.
Pretty decent at the old video game, they are.
Radiant's middle
But
tower
stolen
leading a hand.
Sanity's Eclipse.
Okay.
Rubik's got the big hammer to drop. How much it's actually going to do, though? Smoke move in from the death squad of Team Turtle.
Of course. That's who I think. Oh, never mind. Just in time. I thought it would be just as good of a get, though. See the fact that he's, I think, controlled up towards this top side because of the ward in the lane. If he's coming in. I don't know.
All he wanted to do was farm within range. He might be able to get himself away from this. The vacuum and the shards not doing too much, but the OD with the Astral now setting up on the SF there.
Lifeline's going on the back line.
Lifeline. Looking, yeah, trying to get into that back line, but it looks like Old Warrior have made the call to back up and just retreat under their own vision.
Big success actually there for Old Warrior, right? It means that you get away, you don't give up anything, you end up using the wall, you end up using the macro pyre. Old 11 didn't join that fight at all, just sat bottom, farmed. He's almost got his Radiance now, and he took a tower. So more of the maps being opened up. He doesn't have a TP unless it's coming out on the courier right now. I know his Radiance is, but be slow to join this fight.
Yeah, he's not going to be here. Looks like the call is being made just to run away.
Offensive whip as well. They're keeping that siege creep alive this time around with the liquid fire as well to slow down the tower multi-shot. So take away this control. They still are clinging on to right now on Old Warrior. Nice D-Ward though by QIQX.
Twin gate usage by the Brew does get him up to top, but it looks like Turtle have already fully retreated. Master Splinter has made the call. Time to retreat. Fall back, everybody.
All for sure. Who do we think Master Splinter is? That's the real question. Hold on, actually. There might be a team fight that breaks out because Old Warrior are using this one tiny little bit of an advantage that they've got to go straight into the Roach Pit with their Ursulina.
Scanned.
Yeah, it's scanned. Vacuum is up in... Oh, sorry, Wall is up in 1 second.
They're ready. They can go for this. Shards right into the pit. They move forward, but Roshan's dead. They come out with the primal split down. The dog's here. He's the focal point, trying to surge away with the help of the snowball to buy a bit of time. Getting up to high ground and away from the Brewmaster, trying to heal up with, I think, a Lotus given over to him. Fade Bolt and a Stolen Banishment right onto the dogs here. But Chalice, he's moved forward to step up and defend his body, but that damage from Setsu, too much to contend with, and now Chalice is isolated. The Troll Warlord is helping the OD. Hammer's dropped, the damage is coming. Chalice in trouble. It's Astral again. There's another from the OD on the roof, so he's dead. Troll is gone. Summer's now in trouble. The turnaround here for Old Warrior. They take Roche, claim the Aegis, come back and fight strong. They did lose one life, but Fly, he's going deep for this, thinking about the kill on Jakiro, but yeah, don't want him to go too far for it.
Just like that, they're right back in it. You know, this is why you can't let them have the time to be able to play around the map. That's why, I mean, even just the Radiants would have done so much in that fight, just with the ticking off the top of everything else. The big difference for mine, though, was that back wall wasn't really on point. You know, it was in the pit, hoping to get that big 5-man, but just the confidence on Old 11 to be able to frontline, right? He's got the Spark of Courage, very tanky. He's got the Facet for the Drunken Master, so a little bit more of that movement speed. Of course, leveled up Drunken Brawler as well. And all of that mischance coming from the Radiants too. And an Oracle sitting behind him on top of everything else. So just feeling confident enough to be able to make that space for the cause, to be able to secure Roshan, and he has a very slight Old Warrior net worth lead now.
I mean, a big difference of like being set up for something and then trying to set up for something. And we will see Old 11 getting caught out down in that bottom right-hand corner. Yeah, if you're an Ursa team with an Oracle and a Brew, and you're the ones that kind of set up the terrain, get yourselves prepared, you're in a pretty reasonable spot there. Whereas Team Turtle were filtering in, one by one.
Somnus?
OD just walked right into the middle of 3 of them here, not expecting them to be set up. And Stolen Astral, causing some serious problems.
In that last fight, you saw why I was mentioning Troll just being unable to join a lot of these team fights unless he's got that BKB for himself, right? You're just going to get thrown up in the end by the Brewmaster. You're going to get potentially fate seeding.
Stolen Astral, like, kill the Troll, kill the OD, he's going to kill the Shakira on top as well. They've got the Ursa on his head, and Yang's dog's here.
He fought back, remember, so you cannot just let yourself die. Oh, went the wrong way. Darker.
Right, now back to the topic at hand here, Danog. Master Splinter, Team Turtle, the old mutants, the Ninja Turtles coming out. They're all color coded, right? Do we have to do this player slot by player slot? Is Donatello blue? Who's purple?
Actually, yeah, that works out really well. So
does it?
Yeah, Leonardo is blue, so that's Chalice. Donatello is purple, so that's Yang. Planet is, I think there is a yellow. That's like April O'Neil. Michelangelo is orange, so that will be Picho. No red, though, is Raphael.
Okay. Somnus can be Master Splinter then?
Yeah, I guess so. Somnus is Master Splinter, and we don't even have a Raphael. We've just got April O'Neil instead.
And Kaka being forced to pay for his crimes in that mid lane. No more Astrals, no more nonsense. You've been an irritant for far too long. Double damage Troll going to come into this mid-tier too.
Might only be 1 kill, but like you said, it actually means so much because no Astral, so now Troll is free to hold that battle trance for a whole lot longer with the BKB, on top of the fact that, you just don't have that extra layer of save. You've been banking on setting up for the perfect fight, setting up for the perfect split for so long that it just feels a little bit more awkward to be able to have it now. Flyers, he got a BKB of his own. I see him not with anything in his quick buy, but a Mithril Hammer purchased, so I assume he's going to have that one finished up shortly.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They got a Tormentor for now. Guard the Wisdom Rune at the same time. It does look like Team Turtle were thinking about swinging over there and maybe stealing or sniping it, but understanding that they've got the advantage just to sit on this high ground area near the Ancients instead. They can push out to bottom and into mid.
Seeing so much more of that, aren't we? Like teams at 20.5 minutes being making that move so that they're there before the enemy team, so they can set up on the high ground, so they can look to counter someone taking safe objectives on the map, whether that be the Tormentor or the Wisdom Rune. So, that might just be the little bit of difference between these teams who are obviously very skilled, but not necessarily cohesive together. As Picho, he's about to die underneath an Observer Ward, so
Tower is in the wrong end of
I'm not sure if that'll actually get dewarded, right? Because it was a full smoke, just up onto the high ground. Might just feel like, well, I've tanked the game, you know?
Dire's
daytime.
middle tower is under attack.
Probably just saw me.
Radiant's bottom
Goes on with it.
is under attack.
A good couple of moves here. That Roshan fight, take their own Tormentor, Old Warrior, weaseling themselves back into the game now, and just a 2k lead for Team Turtle right now. We're seeing some pretty big items as well, thinking about how these fights are going to develop. Having Blink Daggers on Old Warrior when you've got an Oracle on your team feels really nice. Having that false promise and ability just to jump in and out of team fights, both Ursa and Shadow Fiend have theirs, of course. And then we're also starting to see the development of the Brew going into this Aghanim Scepter. He's a little distant from it, but this is one of those drafts where they needed a bit of time. We've got to the 20-minute mark, right? This game feasibly could have been over already the way it was starting to spiral. But Old Warrior have got to the point where they've got the farming items. They're now moving into their secondary tier of items to actually be able to team fight properly. Team Turtle, what's their situation? Are they waiting for anything in particular?
I feel like they were waiting for this double Yule Scepter on the supports as well. Obviously, it's great to be able to set up for stuff like the Macro Pyre, like the Ice Path as well, but even just against an Ursa in general, right? If he doesn't have that BKB popped in Rage, nowhere near as effective. So as soon as they get it on both of them, they smoke, they go again. So we've still got this 9-second BKB on Chalice. They just want to make sure that they're getting into the right person. And with the D wards, they might be able to catch Kaka. He's got a force enough for himself.
Sure does. A little risky there for Qualifiers as well to use his blink to come across and maybe try and help D-ward with the vicinity of that smoke from Team Turtle getting a little too close. And now we're not.
They've got double BKBs on Old Warrior themselves. Very, very scary. Kaka still yet to have his own Blink Dagger. Get that quick steal. Of course, Astral is #1 priority for him.
These Brew players love just swapping the stances over and over again. See what the smoke leads them to, though, because Planet's in a very good spot to break it. Very good positioning there with his bit of vision as well. Sees them coming. He'll be able to fall back.
Going for a Wind Waker too as Planet, so wanting to make sure that whoever gets gone on isn't going to get ripped apart. Not going to be able to hold them within a Requiem setup, for example, or Ursa that might be able to get a lucky bash or two onto you.
Now we're getting to the point of the game where both teams kind of looking for that little weakness where maybe they try to smoke ganks, they try to play aggressively into enemy quarter of the map, but now really ostensibly it comes down to next Roshan, right? 10 seconds until fast spawn. Are we looking at potential Dire, Radiant? Which side is it more likely to be on?
Oh, by far the Dire, right? Like, maximum is going to be, of course, the 3-minute mark, and it's going to go to nighttime just in a couple of seconds. So it's going to be up top. It's not necessarily like this actually advantages Old Warrior, though, right? They've lost both Tier 2 towers, so if you're going to buy back and rejoin a fight, it's very telegraphed exactly where you're going to be going to. You can't even, like, TP to a bottom Tier 1 tower and then go through the Twin Gate instead, just for a different avenue of rejoining the fight. Whereas you've still got a Tier 1 tower for Team Turtle, so this is actually going to advantage them a whole lot more. They're starting to build into a few more of these aura items, but most importantly, I'm looking at that Aghanim Scepter that Yang is playing around with. That is the key difference maker for mine. That is going to be able to influence a lot of these team fights. Even just the talents that he has yet to go for, right? The extra 20% more replica illusion damage, extra 100 AoE on the vacuum. Those could be huge for these next couple of setups.
Old 11 may have overstayed his welcome now. Astral from Somnus. He did get into that voice stance, though, to get away a little bit faster than expected, but with a troll arriving and a Santi's Eclipse being used, he disappears quickly. Now, this is the important part, though, right? You gotta kill. You've got to move. You've got to move quickly, because Roshan is up, top left corner, and it looks like
they'll get it.
Old Warrior are going for it.
Yeah, they'll get it. There's no way for them to be able to instantly get back up there, right? They had to use TPs to be able to get down to the bottom side, to be able to punish this Brewmaster, who, was doing a decent amount of damage into your tower. I think he's got the Aghanims finished up as well, so if he's really on point, he can play that JT style of, you know, using the Fire Panda to cut the waves, and when a team fight breaks out, you use the Wind Panda to toss people up in the air and get a lot of these additional dispels off, or Earth Panda to siege towers. Like, you're just so versatile.
They didn't go straight into the pit. They're going to wait for the Brew to respawn. They've got a bit of vision on the Tusk. They're using the Sky. The Requiem's coming with the BKB up for the Shadow Fiend, but he's been backed and controlled by the Troll. Planet is down. He'll buy back immediately. So the fourth one is there to save Setsu. Somra's on the right-hand side trying to skirt the edges of the fight.
5 seconds on the battle trance.
In serious trouble. 2 seconds, 1 second left. He's astraled up. Can he get it off when he comes out? Is he just going to pulp and die as he returns and will battle trance and turn and lifesteal back up? Chalice, he's fighting the Ursa, gets the kill with Planet, somehow survives, gets away with absolute murder. Shadow Fiend and Ursa both dead. Kaka joins them in the grave, and just a matter of millimeters there, microseconds, the difference between life and death, victory and success. Team Turtle come out with a W.
They do. It was just literally just regen while he was sitting inside of that astral on the Troll Wall that kept him alive. He went into it so low, but was able to just turn it around with the battle trance holding out. I thought maybe it was a little bit preempted coming through there, but look at all the damage being done by Chalice. Nearly 5k just on that Troll Warlord, being able to follow them up, and now he's got the additional life to be able to play around and go up into the high ground as well. He's going into the Sergeant Yasha as well, realizing how risky it is to be potentially tossed up in the air, to be hit by the Requiem, by that stolen Astral as well if they get on point. It's even perfect from Planet as well, right? Like, he was able to evade the start of that fight, but wasn't able to get the snowball off, right? So could have potentially lived a whole lot longer. Was able to rejoin. Look at all this, though. I'm just seeing him inside the Astral. Tick, 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 tick. Down to, what's his name? It was 1. 1? He had 1 health. Oh my.
We both saw that, right? That was 1.
Yes. Jeez.
Get that combat logo.
What the hell, man?
That is absolutely wild. Meanwhile, in the bottom right-hand corner, they have Old 11. Oh, he's done for down here. He's got his little drinking buddy, the little split, trying to help him out with a Cyclone, but that's lights out for Old 11's Brewmaster.
Why Leonardo's the leader. He's able to pull it out in those clutch situations.
1 HP. Goodness gracious.
1 HP.
So it's one of these things, right? Can you still do those
Radiant's
kind of tick perfect things? Like when you come out of Astral, can you still BKB before the damage hits you?
Radiant's top
Oh god, I haven't tested it with Astral. Yeah,
Because that used to be one of those things, right, where you used to have like Astral, like, so the classic one was the old OD Mirana versus Lifestealer, where you would Astral and you would be able to rage before the Astral damage hits you, but if an arrow was on top of you, you would dodge the damage but still get hit by the stun. And there was all these kind of weird little interactions, and I haven't tested any of this in a long time, so I don't know where we stand now in current, year 2024.
I mean, we were both making references to the 2016 patches.
What was the save? They saved up with a snowball, eh? That was the Astral. It bought time for Yang to survive through the Requiem, and now they turn back onto Old Warrior. They tried to strike. They took their moment. Their chance was there. But my god, Somnus and Planet were both ready. I wasn't even sure if it was the snowball or the Astral that saved him. Both were there to buy time and save the Darkseer.
Now it's going to become even more difficult for them. They buy up a gem, really what you choose when you want to be able to try and close a game out. Just choke them out, have no vision to be able to play around with. And look how confident Chalice is with the Shadow Fiend on the deck especially. He's the one that's just raining down damage from afar. The only one really causing him any sort of effect in a lot of these early team fights. So just go up onto the high ground. And remember, the glyph does not reset after the tier 3 tower goes down. It's the first melee racks as well, so if they've got that strategy of going for the range first, they just want to be able to secure the sure thing.
Yeah, take down the melee racks. There's no Shadow Fiend for 15 seconds here. You can maybe poke and think about forcing a buyback, but... Want it back. Respect the SF respawning. Again, one of these situations, right, where you're in the lead, you know your opponents are backed against the wall, they're trying all these sneaky plays to try and upset your rhythm a little bit. You don't want to give them the chance, you want to play on your terrain, play high ground.
to say, I don't know if they feel like they can even go for this Tormentor, but it's going to be quite nice just to have a little bit of that additional save coming through from the Rubik. Actually, to be able to move a little bit inside of the Astral is quite nice now, with Kaka having stolen the Astral, right? He's got the shard.
No, not too bad.
Little bit of a repositioning tool for himself.
A couple of saves now.
Yeah. So what you were saying before about like being able to cast things out of things, I mean, cast point, even just 0.01 can make so much of a difference, right? I feel like that's a big reason why Puck isn't being picked anymore, because the phase shift went from 0 cast point to 0.01, and so now you can't like perfectly dodge out even a Chronosphere, for example, which you used to be able to do. Setsu, he's dead.
Oh, yeah. He'll BKB Requiem. Well, yeah, he'll try to. Getting bashed up before he can actually accomplish it. Hit for 70 seconds. Now we have this 5 versus 4 with Aegis expiring. We'll see what Team Turtle want to get up to, because Old Warrior, they're starting to cut waves and just try and hold them back as best they can. Once the Troll is on your high ground, there's nothing stopping Chalice here.
Fortify up top, but I'm not sure how successful that's going to be. They get OD those illusions.
Goes full staff away. Gets distance from the Ursa. Sharded up now. Trapped inside the Igloo. False promise on him with his BKB expiring. Going to get full staffed out by Kaka. That's Old Warrior spending a fair amount of resources, not gaining anything apart from just that respawn time on the SF getting a little shorter. Maybe they can delay with the Storm Panda and the Brew stepping forward. But Chalice has made it very apparent that his job is to destroy the barracks. He's here to stay with a good vacuum through the wall, drag back. They destroy the Oracle. Has to buy back now as Team Turtle will clear another lane of barracks and hold 11. Astral got once more. One more person dead before Primal Split. It's been ice passed up, but the damage is coming. The missed chance, not enough. Dodges one, raids one, but gets hit by the second as the Ursa now in trouble as well, and this is all falling apart. Old Warrior getting dunked on by Team Turtle in game number 1. Here instead with no buyback and GG call.
I was surprised they were able to bring it back as far as they were, to be honest. They were getting crushed in the laning phase. They were able to sneak out a really nice first Roshan for themselves at that 16 or so minute mark, but this is what happens when you go for the full-on greed. The players with the experience that Team Turtle have are not going to be able to give you that that advantage. As Somnus says, get out of my face. I don't want to even look at you guys anymore.